So you were saying that your twin brother was sick, and so you went back to Ethiopia. Was that the first time that you had been back to Ethiopia?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a
I
little
was.
bit? Oh, you can.
Sorry, I don't know. Maybe.
Can I see your top?
Yeah, I can.
Can you talk?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Now I can hear you. I don't know. Maybe it was just. Okay, I might put the actual.
Is this
That is like not. That's like a drill size hole. Okay, continue. Sorry, we're still rolling.
All right.
Sorry.
Cut it out. Okay.
All right. So yeah, it was my first time going back, and well, got here at the end of 2006, and I went back in 2011. To tell the truth, it was really hard for me. And the other thing that I haven't seen my brother, even though when I was in Ethiopia, I haven't seen him for 5 years that I was there, because I used to live in different places, and then when I came, I didn't get a chance to say bye to him. So I came here and I went back there 5 years later. So that added up 10 years. Who I haven't seen for 10 years, and it was really the flight back home was it was the longest flight I ever been to. Honestly, it was 17 hours flight from DC to direct flight to Ethiopia. And I couldn't sleep because I was so excited to get there, even though the fact that I know he's sick, that I have to go, make sure that he gets better. But the fact that being able to see him and being able to see everybody else, even seeing that, the place that I grew up from, I was just so excited, I couldn't take a nap, on my flights. So, the whole time I keep, take, a cat nap, 5 minutes, and I wake up, and ask the next person sitting next to me, hey, how long have we been flying it? 5 minutes, oh, really, just that? And then try to force myself to go back to sleep. And I can tell you that I watched all the movies that was on computer. That's how much I was bored. But after I got there, and obviously has been a lot of change, construction-wise back home, in Ethiopia. It's just dramatically everything changed. All the streets that you used to see muddy, now it's you see bridge over bridges, everything's cleared off, and it looks a lot different. A lot of change, a lot of growth, and everywhere. So I was kind of surprised, oh wow, I felt I just felt like I wasn't part of the country because it looks so different. And of course, when you away from a while from country, people start speaking different language, even though they speak the same language. There's slang people use, and it was hard for me. Going back, I actually had a hard time communicating with my family there. What kind of language you speaking? Even though I was speaking Amharic, they didn't understand my language, and I didn't understand the language because the way they were speaking. Things change a lot, dramatically when you just away for that long, And it was really hard, and it was exciting at the same time. And I was able to see. I went home, and which I'm not from Addis, which is the capital city of Ethiopia. I was out of Addis, called Gondar, and also other country called Metu. Those are the two countries I travel back and forth from. And so when I went there, my twin brother, he got a phone call saying that, oh, Amanuel is back. And he came home from school, and he walked by me, I walked by him, because he didn't know who I was, I didn't know who he was. That little sense you get, it might be him, but then you're not sure. I was like this, sad. I was just I just let him pass by me. And then my other, cousin was with me, that's him. Without exaggeration, it was 40 minutes that we cried. It was so sad. But, after that, he was fine. I took him, he got treatment and everything, and he was really fine. We went a lot of places. We saw, a lot of historical events, all the kind of, we traveled a lot, me and him. It was just, we've been always together since we were kids, so it was exciting, It was, the best trip that I could ever imagine of. It was fun, and I had the best time I could, ever wanted in life, so. It was pretty good being back there.
How did it feel to come back to the States after that?
It was hard, especially the fact that he came all the way to, which is the airport, in Addis Ababa. He came all the way. Then my younger sister, they wouldn't let me go, but I actually wanted to stay there. I almost, it was the last minute decision. I was gonna make. You know what? I'm not going back. I wanted to stay with them. But everybody with me, and my parents here, they were what are you thinking about? I had everyone was just yelling at me, you gotta go, you have life there, you can't just throw it away like that, and you can just always come visit, but you don't have to be here, if you don't want to. And I felt I had a life, I honestly had a life, because I have friends here, I have families here, and everybody that helped me through my life were my family there, so it was hard for me just I just went like that, and I couldn't stay there without saying bye to anybody here. And plus, I had a school to finish, and I just have my own thing to come back for. It was hard for me, like leaving them there crying. Even though the last thing they were saying, like, you know what, go ahead. Even they turned around, they still kept continue crying. It was the hardest thing. Like honestly, it was very hard. I wouldn't let go of them. In fact, I almost missed my flights, which was gonna be very bad. But it was tough. It's just hard. It was hard to let go of things that you love the most. And I mean, as family, always people love family.
What's it like being here and knowing that they're there? How does that feel?
So it feels real weird, And I have a lot of cousins, aunts, and then, like nephews and all. I came from a big family, so here like I only have 2 of them here. Like we just, like my 2 sisters. It's not as fun as it used to be, Like having my brothers, like my twin brother there. The fact that we've been doing everything together. Like we fight together, we laugh and cry and everything together. And then here, it's like you can have a best friends, but at the end of the day, nothing makes me feel better than calling him on the phone, just talking to him, like remember when we used to do this? Remember when we fought about this and that? So it's kind of hard, I'm living a different life here, and he's living a different life there. So when we get a chance to get together, which is like 2 years ago, our lifestyle was like a little different, Not that I wanted to be different or he wanted to be different, but we both have like kind of different kind of path. So I just sit here sometimes, just think about it. I mean, I'm glad that he obviously have someone I can think of or someone I can call, but at the same time, you always wish to be with that person, at the same. It's when you feel like, especially, when I see twins like walking together, like matching clothes, I get annoyed, like I just get mad. I'm like, I want to do that, like I don't want to be here, like I just want to go back, or I want to bring him here, either way around, I just want to have him around me. But I mean, it's hard, him being there and being here. Kind of 2 different worlds for both of us. So.
Do you think your brother will apply for a diversity visa to come here?
I asked him a few times. I asked him to do it, and he goes like, all he says like, I'm trying to bring you here, not bring me there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he's doing good right now. He finished school, he's pretty smart kid, and he's working on. So he's got everything that he needs, except that the fact that we're not able to do things together as much as we wanted to do. And he always makes a joke about like, you can't have a girlfriend or you can't get married without me being there, or you have to be like, like all those kind of brother things joke. Like, I mean, obviously right now I have no plan of doing any of those, but like you will think about stuff, and he always like likes to think ahead, which I'm the opposite of that. Like I don't like thinking ahead. Like I just go with what the day brings for me. But I don't know. I want him to come here. Like I really do want him to come here. Because I love it. I'm happy here if I have him with me, but I want to go back because he's there. So it's kind of hard. I don't know. Maybe one day he'll change his mind, or I will change my mind. Who knows?
So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
You're awesome. So you were talking before about the camp that you work at during the summer.
I just break in with something that more pertains to Ethiopia, just really quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I was just trying to think. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really. Please, yeah. Go ahead.
What other aspects of of Ethiopian culture and lifestyle and other things were you reminded of on your trip back that were strikingly different from your life here in the U.S.? Or is there anything else that you missed other than family, or what components had you maybe forgotten and then were reminded of? I don't know.
Well, it's funny because there's so much cultures there. Even though there's one big there's English, everybody speaks English here, and there's this language called Amharic, which everybody speaks it, and every tribes you go, 96 tribes we have there. And they all have their own language, but yet they all speak that same that language. It's like a national language. I don't know if you all know. We've never been colonized by anybody, so it's we have our own language. But so it's hard for me. Like I said, previously, I've been traveling quite a few states. So all the states have different kind of culture, different outfits, the dress up, for holidays and all that kind of thing. And in Ethiopia, Easter and New Year's the most famous holidays in Ethiopia. Like everybody loves having it like Easter, like everybody's together, like eating, sharing, drinking. Just all the like people don't do things alone there. Like everybody does things together. So like on every Easter or New Year or like any other holidays, we always have like cousins, aunts, like everybody comes together. Like I mean, a huge family. Like no house is enough for anybody there. So like all those kind of having those kind of things, just like spending the holiday with the family, listening to music like that reminds me of a holiday. So when I got on the plane, I was a kid, like not a kid not to know like what I was doing, but also like a kid just who was following my parents. I'll just come with my parents. So it's not like I decided to just come here by myself. So I have them, and like I was just looking up to them. But as you grow up, you came here and you grow up and you start like listening to music that you used to listen when you were a kid there, and like especially like when there's a holiday. Like I go to church most of the time, like every Sundays or every other Sundays. So you listen to like a church song that you used to listen there, or like you go to a park like where there's Ethiopian party and you listen to music that you used to listen when you were there on a holiday. That kind of brings you back, It was so all those kind of things always reminds me of like being back, not just my family, but also just being at that exact place that I was when I was a kid. And anything you do like as a child, you will never forget it. It's always gonna be like always be striking you there, like it's gonna live with you. So like I always will remember the fact that I remember when when this song was playing, if not the exact place, but what state I was, or what year it came out. And I don't know, it's kind of hard, You think of the place, you think of everybody, like the other people around you. You think of who you used to know there, like beside family, just all the other friends that you used to have.
So back to the camp question then. So
that
that
was
was a
good. That was
question.
good. Yeah.
What is this camp like? Like, what does it look like the first days at camp? Like,
Well, actually, the camps, we actually have people. I don't know if you guys know, there are like 4 or 5 Ethiopians who goes to MIT. I don't know if you guys know them, like Asmama or Gani, their name, but they actually like volunteer to help us also like the past 2 years, and we're always like having kids, like anybody who is happy to volunteer. But what happens is that what it is about is that there's this lady called her name is Johanna, and she's white, but she's adopted like 4 Ethiopian kids. One of the guys my age, and his 3 younger sister, which is one 21 and one 19 and one is I think 14 or something. So she adopted them, and they came here almost at the same time as I came here. And then I like like one of the things that helps me or anybody in Ethiopia, like in Cambridge, is that like to get along with other people, like or to get in touch with other people, is that church or some kind of like special event. So when I first got here, I used to go to church almost every Sunday, and then this parent just showed up, like like 4 new kids with their white mother. I'm like, oh, that's odd, like you don't usually see that. And she goes like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, oh, Amanuel. Like, oh, my name is Johanna. Those are my kids, and they knew. Would you please show them around church and stuff? And like I met her daughters and her son, and he seems very sweet kid, and we became really close friends. It was like he actually became like my brother, like at the time, like I was new, he was new, so we felt like, we just, and they were from Addis. And then I met them, and then I started going to their house quite a lot, just almost like every weekend, just to go play video games, hang out, play soccer, play basketball, all those kind of things. And then I became really close with them. And then she goes, I do this thing like called culture camp, which is based on for like anybody who's adopted, anybody who wants to learn their culture. They all get together from all the other states. Like people come from New York, Rhode Island, like Maine, all those kind of states, New Hampshire, and everywhere, even from like DC and all other places. So like all we do is that we just teach the kids how to speak Amharic and teach them some Amharic words, teach the parents how to do Ethiopian dance, and we cook Ethiopian food and all that kind of thing. Would you be interested to like join us one day? I'm like, oh, I would love to, I'll go see it. So I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago.